right, everybody, welcome to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. We apologize for starting late. We had technical difficulties. So every once in a while, the lights on this screen back here, the lights go out back here, and we got to fix it. So, we wanted to make sure that we had a really good It's the beginning of a new month. Every day. So on today's show, we'll be discussing the market update. We'll be discussing the COVID pill, the infrastructure vote today, question mark, again. The Facebook files are getting boring. Yep. We'll be talking about the Bank of Google, and of course, my favorite topic, Dictator Newsom, and what he has in mind. And then we'll be talking about the wrap-up and what I think is going to be some great plays coming into the new month. All right, so let's talk about the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ. First of all, as we know, the Dow actually finished up. It finished up 480 points, which was kind of exciting because at one point it was actually up 600 points, and it did really, really well. It was pretty amazing. The S&P finished up 50 points, and the NASDAQ came out of nowhere to finish up 120 points. Wow, just pretty wild. It's just great to see that. It's great to see that we're actually starting to go back towards the positive again. And of course, this came on the news of the heels of the Biden signing the temporary funding bill that prevented a government shutdown. I actually thought they were going to miss this deadline for political reasons. However, it looks like they're more concerned with the infrastructure bill, to play with that 800-pound gorilla instead of working on this. So they let it go, and we're going to talk about that 800-pound gorilla later on in the show. All right, let's go into the first topic today. And the first topic today is Merck's COVID pill. So Merck and Ridgeback Biotherapeutics said Friday that they've developed a drug that reduces the risk of hospitalization or death by around 50% for patients with mild or moderate cases of COVID. I always thought they had one already, but that's fine. The companies plan to seek emergency authorization for the antiviral COVID treatment after the medicine showed compelling results in clinical trials. Every participant was unvaccinated and had at least one underlying factor that put them in a greater risk of developing a more severe case of the virus. The most common risk factors included obesity, being over age 60, and having diabetes or heart disease. So they literally tested people that are sick, and but I'm going to tell you, though, just as you read on, this is great news, because it really is. It's great news for those concerned about COVID, and hopefully it will create calm among those who continue to think COVID is the reason to stop living life. As you know, I personally have not changed anything about my life, never wore a mask, and I have less fear of COVID than I do of getting hit by a bus, and that's my suggestion for you, too, is stop the fear. But with these treatments, however, the rest of the world may actually calm down and start living life again. Of course, this was great news for Merck, and the stock, which rose as high as almost 10% higher today. Wow, what a stock option that would have made. I wish I had that stock option. By the way, the rest of the market popped today, and it may also be attributed to this treatment as well, as Wall Street is always looking for a catalyst of good news or an emotional high to make the market pop, and that's possibly what happened. Let's talk a little bit about the infrastructure vote. Every day I've reported that the infrastructure vote would be today. I mean, today each day. Yesterday, the day before that, the day before that, the day before that, the day before that, etc. I'm quickly figuring out that Democrats get more attention from talking about the bills than actually passing them. Remember, the Democrats basically touted this bill as a bipartisan bill. This should be an easy bill to pass. They've already all agreed on it, right? So why isn't it passed? Well, some Democrats are holding out and stating it doesn't need to be this expensive. The Democrats keep saying this bill will help many people in the future with child care benefits, senior benefits, including dental care, eye care, and even hearing aid benefits. What? Hearing aid benefits. What? Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. They continue to talk about it, and it's still not vote on it. It kind of reminds me of the last stimulus check, and it took 6 months for the Democrats to approve. If you remember, last year, President Trump was saying, "Hey, let's just get the checks out there," and they were saying, "No, we have to vote on it." And it took them 6 months to approve it. Anyway, if this bill gets passed, it'll create many stock play opportunities, and I will keep you informed of what they are. All right, let's take a quick break right now, and we'll be right back.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and so far we have been discussing the market update. What an awesome day, man. The Dow popped. It was up as high as 600 points at one point. Some of my stocks did very well. I actually got out of a few positions today. I took some profit because nobody ever went broke taking a profit, of course. We also talked about the fact that the infrastructure vote might be again. Oh, boy. And we talked about Merck's mess. Coming up, we got the Facebook files are getting boring. And we got the fact that we'll talk about the Bank of Google. We're going to talk about Dictator Newsom, and then, of course, some of my favorite stocks. All right, let's get into the Facebook files. If you remember, I've been reporting on the Wall Street Journal's new vendetta against Facebook. The Journal reported on many issues over the past 2 weeks and helped open the eyes of legislatures about the fact that Instagram has been targeting children and how they've been affecting the mental health of these children. I've been saying all along that this was a series on the Journal to knock down the stock price of Facebook to make it a great play into earnings, and I still believe that, and it'll be a great play into earnings if you buy it on the next dip. But I started to read the Journal series today once again, and I'm realizing that they're really running out of things to report. Today they were literally calling out the fact that Sheryl Sandberg is losing her power. Really? They're actually saying that Facebook is growing to have almost 100,000 employees, and Sandberg's responsibilities are being divided. Duh! This statement from the Journal says, check this out, though Ms. Sandberg remains a top figure at Facebook, recent data show her share of Facebook staff employees this year is only at 31%. That doesn't include, by the way, the growing army of contract workers she oversees. Hello, McJournal. Hello, McJournal. That's 1/3 of the staff for 100,000 people. So maybe she used to only manage 50% of 50 people. She's still managing more, not less. Duh. All right. But managing a section of 1/3 of the employees in a company at Facebook's size, that's really impressive. Maybe that's why they have to use all these bots to throw me into Facebook jail, not really humans, because they can't actually cover everything. But I'm pretty impressed. Anyway, it's a lame article, and it's a lame attempt to crush Facebook stock again. My guess is, once again, the Journal is going to end their Facebook file series shortly. I may even say there might not even be an article next week, and revisit it when Facebook does something that's actually newsworthy. Like maybe they, helped win an election again. Who knows? Anyway, as for the stock, it's a buy. As we head into earnings, and this will easily go back to 375 and possibly 400 by the end of the year. So I would definitely say get into it. All right, let's talk about Google's bank. So Google is actually scrapping their plans to offer banking services directly to users. The shift comes nearly 2 years after the company first announced its banking plan and several months after a key executive leading the project departed. In 2020, Google said it would let users open a bank account through its Google iPay app. This bank would have been backed by Citigroup, and it would have joined the long list of banking that is attractive to the millennials. So you notice that if you've noticed on TV lately, I've noticed this a lot, there's a lot of companies right now on TV that are advertising to millennials for banking. So they're banking apps, they're simple banking apps with low fees, and I don't know, I go back and forth, because I remember when I was young, you went into this big building and it was a bank and you were intimidated by it. Now you got these apps, everything's an app, okay? If you didn't notice, Apple, by the way, has already started a credit card in partnership with Barclays Bank, and it works seamlessly through your iPay app. Google wanted to do the same thing with its Google Pay on Android phones. The Wall Street Journal first reported the news of the scrap plans on Friday, or today, stating a series of reportedly missed deadlines, along with the departure of Google Pay executive overseeing the project. I actually believe we're going to see this again, and I believe Amazon, by the way, is a bank that's just a few years away. Think about it. Here's what's going to happen. This is going to be absolutely brilliant. The supplier goes to Amazon Bank to borrow money for the goods to buy their product. Amazon Bank, of course, charges them interest. Then Amazon Bank would then lend money to the buyer who buys the product on those terms and more interest. Meanwhile, Amazon also makes money on the product because the buyer bought it on the Amazon platform. So basically, Amazon has zero risk in this transaction, and they make a fortune. They make money on the fact that they bought the product, and they're getting interest on the original buyer who buys the product, who then puts it on their platform, makes money on their platform, and then, of course, what do you think? They sell it on their platform to someone who has Amazon credit. This is called capitalism. It's brilliant. All right, maybe it's not the most beautiful terms, but I love it. I think it's fascinating. Let's talk about dictator Newsom. So we all know that the supreme leader in Washington has some of his generals, and one of his generals right now is dictator Newsom. And when Newsom wasn't recalled, I basically knew California was going to be punished, and here's the punishment. Here it is. California will require COVID vaccine for kindergarten through 12th grade students attending in-person school after full FDA approval. I really hope that the FDA never approves anything, but they already have, because these poor kids are going to get these shots for absolutely no reason. That's right, if you have a child, the age of group that COVID hardly affects, you need to have your child vaccinated or they cannot attend public school. Gruesome will roll out this plan in 2 steps. The mandate will take effect for students. The first part of the mandate will take effect for students age 12 and over the following full approval by the FDA for that entire age group. So as soon as they approve it for age 12 and above, they're going to have to take shots. After that, California will then apply the vaccine mandate to the students under 12 years old in a second phase after full FDA authorization takes place in that age group. I hope it never happens. I really do. I feel terrible for these people. Of course, the third step will be a mass exodus from California, if there's anyone even left in California at this point paying all those taxes anyway. When is this country going to stand up for itself and the principles it was founded on? This is unbelievable that they actually have the thought that we have to give these kids these shots for this COVID vaccine for a cold. It's a freaking cold. All right, it's a bad cold. Don't get me wrong. People die from it. I get it, but it's just a cold. Stop it already. All right, I'm going to go take a chill pill while we go to commercial. So we'll see you when I get back. Investor schooling needs a new slogan.
Investor schooling? Never heard of.
Investor schooling?
Never heard of them.
Investor schooling? Never heard of them.
Any suggestions? Phil?
Investor schooling. We never heard of you either.
Investor Schooling. We never heard of you either. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
Investor schooling. Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling? Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling.
Those guys are everywhere.
Investor Schooling. Those guys are everywhere. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
Investor schooling, those guys are everywhere. Oh, wait a minute. That was the last thing. Yeah, never mind. All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and so far we've been discussing the market update. Beautiful day today. The Dow ended up 483 points above, almost 50 points in the S&P, and 119 points almost on the NASDAQ. Beautiful day. Beautiful plays. I made some money today. I'm really happy about that. We talked about the fact that Merck has a COVID pill, and of course that made Merck stock pop. We talked about the infrastructure vote that will probably never happen because the Democrats apparently like to just talk about the fact that they're going to pass stuff and never do. The Facebook files are getting boring. So if you're watching the Wall Street Journal, the Facebook facts are getting boring. We talked about the Bank of Google. That will not happen, at least for now. And of course, we talked about dictator Gruesome. All right, let's talk about a wrap-up real quick. September blues are over, and the market is rewarding those who bought the dips. Hey, I see a lot of strength going on at the end of the year, and I look forward to a great comeback before the great drop in the spring. So when I say the great drop in the spring, I mean that it's coming, folks. It's coming. The market is going to have to take a pause. Whether it's a drop or whether it's a major drop, small drop, it's going to have to take a pause. My prediction is it's coming this spring, just based on the fact that it's slowing down a little bit. And also, I really believe that the Dow is too high. But that's okay. That doesn't mean anything. I believe the Dow was too high when it hit 25,000. So let's see what happens. I also think we might get a chance to come close to the 40s before it happens. But just kind of be a little cautious. But at the same time, don't be too cautious. Play it out. I know I contradicted myself 3 times in the last paragraph. All right. Facebook, Apple continue to pique my interest, along with Pinterest and Uber. I like these plays. I actually sold some Pinterest today. And I sold some AAL today, actually, too. That was pretty cool, too. I sold some AAL. I kept my CCL because I'm still waiting for that to go a little bit higher. Robinhood and Coin are also going to move higher as the crypto market moves higher. And by the way, it was reported today that some analysts see crypto moving higher, and today's numbers are really showing that. It actually was up a little bit. I don't know if you take a look at them, but that's great. Have you been watching our show? If you have been, our show has been giving great tips. And people are actually letting me know that they're making money watching this show. So if you're watching this show, I continue to look forward to hear from you. Of course, hit the share button right now. Even if you didn't hit it yet, hit the share button, hit the like button. Let me know you enjoy the show. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. From time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show. The opinions discussed in this show are solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. I want to thank you again for watching Money Chat Now. We look forward to your continued support, and we will see you Monday, hopefully at 4:03. Of course, we had some technical difficulties today, but that's life. It's okay. We'll see you on Monday.